A very good morning to you and welcome to Signature Sport. My name is Franklin Imona, your anchor, and today on the show we will be looking at so many stories cut across the continent of Africa and the world in general as actions continue in the last 24 hours in the world of sport. It wasn't a good night for Manchester United as yet again they faltered in Europe, but it was a beautiful night for Arsenal and Liverpool as each team recorded 5 goals over their opponent in the EFL Cup. Yesterday, we saw actions in the Nigerian Premier Football League where Eimba had to show why they was win the NPFL this season, showing class over Lobby Stars. All these and many more on the show this morning. We begin from the Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja, where the Minister for Sport, Senator John Onwa-Eno, had an interview with reporters as well as pressmen over the failure of Team Nigeria in the just concluded 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Speaking with journalists, he revealed that he faced a traumatic time at the Olympics as well as some psychological trauma when his team couldn't win any medal in the Olympics. He also spoke concerning the saga involving Favour Ofili and other athletes in terms of dressing as well as their poor performance in the Olympics. Speaking, he says that moving further, the ministry will go into serious grassroots development in order to get the next generation of athletes that will represent Nigeria not only in the Olympic Games but also in the All-African Games. He spoke concerning why the team also didn't do well, citing late preparation, sparse funding, as well as athletes not reporting to camp early. But moving forward, he assured Nigeria and Nigerians that the next Olympic, hopefully he's still in office, which will come down in 2028, will see a different Team Nigeria doing well as they get set to better their previous record. Team Nigeria finished the 2024 Paris Olympic Games with 0 gold, 0 silver and 0 bronze medals, totaling of 0 medals at the just concluded Olympic Games. We move over now to the Nigerian Premier Football League where actions continued yesterday with Enugu Rangers haven't dusted themselves up following their poor performance in the continent where they were hoisted out of the CAF Champions League by SD Sagrande of Angola. They had to rely on a captain Chinemerem towering header from a well-taken corner kicks to give coach Fidelis Ilechukwu's Enugu Rangers a slim win over newcomers Ikorodu City. He scored the goal in the first half and that was all the defending champions needed to win that game. That win actually took Enugu Rangers to a more enviable position in the Nigerian Premier Football League table. And other games that went down yesterday saw the likes of Eimba winning their games 2 goals in the first half, but it was cancelled by Wahib Khalib in the 38 minutes to give Lobby Stars at least a consolation goal when they fell 1-2 against Eimba at the Aba Township Stadium. Earlier, Enugu Rangers won away from home, but Eimba won at home. That win took Eimba to 2 points away from that, and it also gave the team a much more deserved win in that game, whereby both teams actually showed why they were on quest to win the Nigerian Premier Football League for the season. Coach Yemi Olarewaju spoke after the game, citing that the team needs to keep winning as the league is a marathon and not a sprint, saying that one win is not enough for the team to go all out to win the league. Topping the team is no other but Remo Stars, who continue to show why they were on quest to win the NPFL this season. Looking at the NPFL table, Remo Stars sits at the summit with 9 points, meaning they have won 3 games. They have won 3 games in their last 3 games, while Rivers United sits second. Closely following is Niger Tornadoes, and Eimba comes fourth. Sunshine Stars of Akure, coached by Coach Kennedy Boboye, occupies the 5th position. Actions will continue later this weekend all across the federations, where team will battle it out as to the match day 4. Just so you know, UFC boxer Israel Adesanya, popularly known as the Last Style Bender, actually placed a bet with Eimba to win that game. We were told that he placed a 6.4 million naira bet for Eimba to get all 3 points against Lobby Stars, to which he won his bet. Talking about money and placing it where your mouth is. And away from the Nigerian Premier Football League, let's still remain with news from the local scene, as Chelsea defender Tosi Adarabi Oyo has indicated his interest to joining the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Having been dumped out by the Three Lions of England in their last Euros, where he was not selected despite his salient performance with his former club before joining the Blues, Chelsea, Tosi Adarabi Oyo has been a household name in the whole of London, and ever since he discovered that he has no future with the English national team, he has decided to opt out to join the Super Eagles of Nigeria, thereby letting himself available for the NFF to call on. He would join the illustrious defenders like Danny Shitu, who once played for Millwall, to play for the Super Eagles. Also, he had a stint with the under-21 of the England national team before playing for the Super Eagles. Not forgetting the likes of William Trust Ekong, Leon Balogu, Calvin Bassey, Ola Aina, and a host of others who have played in the EPL and still playing in the EPL to play for the Super Eagles. It is not left to the president of the NFF, talking about Chief, should I say, Al-Haji Ibrahim Musa Gusso, to call on Tosi Adarabi Oyo to be the latest Eagles to join the team. If he did make that move to play for the Super Eagles, he will become the 9th player to jilt a national team in Europe to come play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, following the likes of Alexander Iwobi and a host of others. But former legend Mikel Obi have doused that move, citing that players who wants to play for Nigeria or any other African team should make up their mind early to play for their motherland than waiting when these countries has finally jilted them before they remember that they have a nation in Africa. He frowned at players having been rejected by countries in Europe, but then will finally opt to play for Nigeria as a second option. It thereby means that any players who wants to play for Nigeria or any African team should make up their mind early enough and join the team when they are young, rather than wait in their late 20s or early 30s before indicating interest to want to play for any nation in Africa. I guess that is a nice one. It depends for the NFF as well as other FAs in other countries to take the advice of former Chelsea legend and former Super Eagles captain John Mikel Obi. And away from that, before we move out of the local scene and check out some of the biggest stories making round in the foreign scene, it is no longer news that the CHAN competition, talking about the African Cup of Nations for African players, popularly known as CHAN, has gotten a new date. President Maurice Motsepe has finally changed the date, thereby making a new date. Having consulted some of his executives that actions that will kick off later in October and not late in September as earlier scheduled. It will resume on the 15th to 17th, and then it will continue in November, talking about qualifications for the CHAN African Cup of Nations Championships. Nigeria will be part of it because it is part of the member nations that have indicated interest long time ago to be part of the CHAN competition. And away from that, we move to the foreign scene. And in the foreign scene, it was late in the Europa League yesterday where Manchester United again faltered as they begin their quest to winning the 2024-2025 Europa Champions League. Goal from Erik Eriksen of Denmark was later cancelled in the second half by Lemar, jersey number 10 of FC Twente, after being the second best team in the competition so far. Manchester United, coached by Erik Ten Hag, showed dominance in the first half, but in the second half they were punished for taking their foot off the pedal. Captain Bruno Fernandes was yet again singled out as the culprit for the poor game. Manchester United continued to knock on the door, having considered an equalizer in the 71st minute, but all to no avail as FC Twente had to hold their own for a remarkable draw. What it simply means is Manchester United, under coach Erik Ten Hag, has won just one game in their last 9 games in Europe. They have lost 5, drew 3, and won just 1 game. And that win came against FC Copenhagen in the Champions League group stage last season. Manchester United's poor season continues as fans are growing increasingly worried of how their season might just turn out. And according to statistics and rating, Manchester United have been voted the 13th best team in Europa to winning the competition this season. Manchester United action will continue later this weekend against Tottenham, and then action continues in the Europa against the FC Porto away from home. And in other games in the new format of the Europa League, Nigerians talisman Victor Osimhen was once again on target as he registered his 3rd assist in Galatasaray 3-1 win last night. It was a 3-1 back-to-back win for the Turkish Giants, as they have now won their last 3 games by the same scoreline, 3-1, with Victor Osimhen being among the assists in the goals. What it simply means is Victor Osimhen has now registered 3 assists in his last 3 games, and this is a record for the Nigerian striker. And other games also saw Nigerian player talking about Fisayo Bashiru. He scored the goal and he assisted another goal for his team side Lazio as they won 3-0 in the game yesterday against Dynamo Kiev. Bashiru, who joined Lazio this season, have shown remarkable quality as to why Lazio paid over £9 million to get the Nigerian midfielder. Looking at the games that went down yesterday, AZ Alkmaar were 3-2 better against Augsburg. Bodo Glimt defeated FC Porto by 3-2. Anderlecht defeated Ferencváros by 2-1. Dynamo Kiev at home lost to Fisayo, Bashiru teams by 3-0. FC Midtjylland and Hoffenheim played out a 1-0 draw, while Galatasaray were 3-1 better against PAOK Salonical by 3-1. Ludogorets lost at home to Slavia Prague by 2-0, and Manchester United against FC Twente at the Old Trafford played out a 1-0 draw. OGC Nice and Real Sociedad couldn't be separated as both teams ended their games 1-0. Actions will continue later today in the Europa League, where Fenerbahce, I beg your pardon, would take on Union Saint-Gilloise. FC Malmo would take on Rangers, while Ajax would be at home to play against a Turkish side, Besiktas. AS Roma and Atletico Bilbao have a date. Bucharest would take on RFC, while Olympique Lyonnais will do battle with Olympiacos. FC Braga and Maccabi Tel Aviv will slug it on come tonight. And the last game I built for today will see English side Tottenham Hotspur take on FC Karabakh. The Europa League takes the same format with the UEFA Champions League, where over 48 teams will play each other in a round-robin game, where the top 8 teams will progress into the next round, and the last 16 teams and the other 16 teams, I beg your pardon, will join them in a playoffs. It's going to be more games for teams playing in the Europa comes the season. And away from the Europa League, let's move over now to games that went on in the English Football League, popularly known as the Carabao Cup, where Arsenal and Liverpool showed superiorities in their games following a 5-1 trouncing of their opponent. Arsenal had players like Nwaneri, who was on target in that game, registering a goal and registering a brace, I beg your pardon, for his team as they came from as they won by 5-1. Mohamed Salah also was on the score sheet for Liverpool, but Cody Gakpo as well as Diego Jota each registered a brace. What it simply means is that Liverpool have now scored more goals than any other team so far in the EPL, so far in the English team than any other team. And Arsenal are showing why they are ready to compete for the Carabao Cup this season following their remarkable performance last night. Not to forget that new signing Raheem Sterling was also on the score sheet. And the draw for the next round of the EFL Cup have taken place, where Brentford at home will welcome Sheffield United, Southampton and Stoke City will slug it out in the other game. And the biggest game in this round, we see Tottenham Hotspur take on Manchester City at the London Stadium, home of Tottenham. AFC Bournemouth will take on Newcastle United, and the winner will play Chelsea away from home. Brighton and Hove Albion and Liverpool have a date, while Manchester United have been drawn against Nigerians team Wilfred, and it is Leicester City in the next round. Preston North End will welcome Arsenal, and Aston Villa and Crystal Palace will slug it out for a place in the quarterfinals. Just so you know, Manchester City are the defending champions of the EFL Cup, while Manchester United are the champions of the FA Cup. In other games in other news rather, former Manchester United and Real Madrid player Rafael Varane has called it quits in his football career. Following his string of injury, we see that Varane has no interest to playing football anymore because his season has been plagued with injury. Leaving Manchester United this summer to join Italian side FC Como, coached by Cesar Fabregas, Rafael Varane has been ruled out for injury in his last 2 games for Como FC. And owing to the fact that his body can no longer take him, he has decided to throw in the towel, as he will no longer be playing football for either his club side FC Como or for his national team side France. Rafael Varane has been such an illustrious servant for his team, winning the Champions League, the FA Cup with Manchester United, the Carabao Cup with Manchester United, as well as the Spanish La Liga. He's also a FIFA World Club winner, as well as a Copa del Rey winner. Not forgetting being among the players that won the 2018 FIFA World Cup with the French national team. He was also part of the team that finished second in the 2016 Euros, to which Portugal defeated France in the final. football, we always remember Rafael Varane for his remarkable defending and his goal-scoring presence in set pieces. And finally, on the show, we'll take you to the Spanish La Liga, where Hansi Flick's Barcelona side continue to show dominance and why they are ready to wrestle the trophy away from Real Madrid with a 1-0 win yesterday, following Robert Lewandowski's strike to send Barcelona 6 wins from 6 games, meaning that Barcelona have now scored 19 goals and conceded just 4 in the last 5 games. Wojciech Szczesny, a former player of Juventus, finally joined FC Barcelona following Mark ter Stegen's injury in the last weekend game. He joins them on a free transfer following a poor game by Pina, the second choice of Barcelona. And in other news, we'll take you to where it was all about Paris Saint-Germain as they continue to get not a good enough offer as Arsenal wants to sign Vitinha from Paris Saint-Germain. Vitinha has become a household name for PSG as he continues to find a way to establish his take and establish himself for coach Luis Enrique's side. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta have singled Vitinha as a possible player to join the Gunners account next season, but Paris Saint-Germain are continuing to hold on to their own as they set to give him a new but improved contract in order to fend off suitors for coming for his signature. Later today, action continues in the Europa League, just like I did say, and all the games will also continue in other leagues. Alright, so this is how far we can go on the show. Apologies for not bringing you all the highlights as to the games that went down yesterday, but when next we return on the show, we will get you all the claims as well as the glimpse on the actions that went down. Until then, do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as keep following us on all our social media handles. I still remain Franklin Imona, your sport anchor. Thank you for sticking with me up until this moment, and let us do it again at the same time tomorrow, but on a bigger and better form. Until then, keep watching Signature Television.